Welcome to Notepad. I'm your host Ibrahim Sani. We are still in budget week and there's plenty of items that needs to be discussed following the budget presentation a week ago. One item that wasn't given the focus this year was Islamic Finance, but it has been there for quite some time, and therefore Islamic players are taking this budget in stride, and they are therefore keeping their concentration fixed on improving the sector without so much fiscal attention that they are generally accustomed to following budgets of the years before. So joining me to discuss this on how Islamic Finance can be used as a tool to help Malaysia rejuvenate its economies are two key players in the sector. Suhazi Reza Selamat is the CEO of UOB Islamic Asset Management, and Datuk Dr. Daud Bakar, veteran in this sector. He's of course the chairman of Amanie Group and the president of my alma mater, the IIUM, or the International Islamic University in Malaysia. Welcome, gentlemen. Let's start with you, Reza. The debate has been presented and has been debated for a week now. Do you feel that the budget can address the concerns coming from the people right now, as well as coming from the need of recovery from of Malaysia's economy from COVID-19?
Hi, thank you, Ibrahim, for the opportunity to share my thoughts. To me, the budget is quite far-fetching. It's got a tall order given the current scenario of COVID pandemic. So it's got a tall order to achieve, and it is trying to do that as far as possible without damaging the country's economy. So that's why you can see that the finance minister has given plenty of goodies targeted predominantly at the B40 and also those that were affected by the pandemic. The key word here is targeted. So they were not like the first MCO where it was widespread, it was given to everybody. I think this time around the government has realized through their experience that it is maybe better to target it specifically to certain sectors. Unfortunately, Islamic Finance, as what you mentioned, was not a big recipient of this particular budget, but we are still hopeful that the industry can still stand strong.
Yeah, and that's why we want to bring in Datuk Daud right now. Based on the views that you've had, you've analysed and you've scrutinised over 20 budgets over the past 20 years. How is this budget different from the previous years?
I think to large extent, the budget that we have currently is a bit focused on the needs of the people on the ground. And that's why it has been biased towards putting the right infrastructure to give the proper solid ground to the people to be on the feet. And from that perspective, we can see that innovation has been done in some capital market, crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding. Government talk about the SDG Sukuk to use this product as the fiscal policy to combine both the Islamic Finance as well as the Sukuk instrument. But at the end of the day, Ibrahim, I would say that the focus has been very much to give something to the pocket of the people and to be able to generate the stimulus to create more jobs in the future, and perhaps banking finance can benefit from the grants given to the employees or underemployed or unemployed to take the opportunity to upskill themselves. Perhaps this is the area that banking finance can take from various banks and training institutes to prepare more young people and reskill people in the area of banking finance.
Yeah, Dato', it's interesting that you brought up jobs because earlier today the Finance Minister did talk about jobs, and the idea here is, of course, this is a budget that is creating vital resources for the people in terms of trying to drop unemployment. Here's a clip of him talking on how unemployment have been decreasing over the past few months.
September, kadar pengangguran terus menurun kepada kadar 4.6% berbanding 4.7% pada bulan Ogos. Ini menunjukkan tren penurunan yang konsisten sejak dari 5.3% pada bulan Mei dan melambangkan pengukuhan daya tahan pasaran pekerjaan negara. Apa-apa pun, usaha masih perlu diteruskan kerana situasi kini amat tidak menentu.
And so, Reza, as you can see, the Finance Minister was underlying the fact that even though the unemployment rate has dropped, the idea for us to continue to give more jobs and resources to the public is essential. And that's why Islamic Finance could be seen as a tool to get this done. What is your opinion on how Islamic Finance can play that role in boosting the revitalization of Malaysia's economy?
To me, you see, Islamic Finance has been one of the largest niche, if you may, for Malaysia, for the global markets, right? So there's a huge prospect for us to rejuvenate the Islamic Finance, to and bring it out to the world. We have done a great job in the past. Perhaps yes, it's been a little bit slow of late, but this is, to me, in any disaster, there always comes an opportunity. So to me, that's why I say Islamic Finance, in its all goodwill and whatnot, to me can still be used as an opportunity to target for that particular job skills. For example, I mean, Malaysian talents are being demanded globally. In the Middle East, for example, I've got plenty of friends who are based and working there, in other parts of the world. So our talent is well demanded. Of course, you do not want to travel at this point of time due to COVID. But I'm just saying that the prospects are there, and now via digital technology, you can even perhaps do on a consulting basis to meet that. So it's also about us upskilling ourselves to equip ourselves with the digital technology, digital skill, if you may, and implanting Islamic Finance into that particular segment. So digital and Islamic can come in hand to increase our value proposition.
Dato, as the president of IIUM, those two elements that Reza was mentioning about, digitalization as well as talent management, is crucial in building tertiary education in Malaysia, particularly a university like UIA. How do you feel the current education system is actually supporting the necessary requirements that the country needs in terms of talent development?
Thank you for highlighting that important and also very timely question, if I may say. I would say not only for the International Islamic University, but for other public universities, private universities, I think everyone must, be prepared to redesign the whole syllabus. I'm not saying one or two syllabus, but the whole syllabus from the university courses all the way to specialization courses, to elective courses, to see what will be the impact of COVID-19 moving forward. Because this kind of crisis will stay for many, many years to come. The impact will be very pervasive. For example, the inequality of income will be more widened after the crisis. Surely, the income per capita will be affected, even in Malaysia. So the university must, move in tandem with the new data. We cannot be living in the old data. We have to be in sync with the new data. And that's why for this year, if the private universities in particular and the private, of course, we need to be a bit courageous to challenge ourselves, to be able to challenge our own assumption. In the past, we have not forced anything. We just do things as normal. But we have seen the data keep coming, unemployment or underemployment, the relevance of some courses, the duration of the courses, sometimes too long, too heavy, to textbook orientation, and what have you. So thank you for highlighting that question. For me, as a practitioner, as an academician to some extent, I would put a motion that the universities must, be courageous to relook into themselves, and by putting the new data, the data of today and the tomorrow and the future, before their eyes and ears, to really be able to see are they equipped to, number one, to avoid further unemployment, number two, to produce graduates who are able to be absorbed almost immediately to the sector, employment sector. Yeah.
All right, very interesting. I will take a short break before we continue on our conversation with these two gentlemen. We'll be right back.